Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. We are talking with Representative Rick Staples, Democrat from Knoxville. He's filed a resolution that would move the bust of Nathan Bedford Forrest from outside the state capitol. It currently sits there beside the House and the Senate chambers. It would be moved outside of that location to a museum or some other place. There you see a picture of where it sits right now. It's certainly been a controversial thing, but this resolution filed by Rick Staples, Representative Staples, would move it. A lot of calls here, so let's go to the phone. So I'm going to take this call. I'm going to take, you say your name is Cornbread, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, go right ahead.
With that.
All right. I've got no problem with taking down the bust. But let's take down all the Martin Luther King boulevards, too.
Okay.
You know, I'm a full-time farmer, and they say what they want to about the slaves, the way they were treated. A farmer does not mistreat his stock. And if he was doing his job, he was getting 3 meals a day and a place to stay. And he was sold by his own people to come over here to start with. Correct?
I don't know about all that. All right. That's all right. That's what this conversation gets us. It gets us into the minds of lots of people, and that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, it is, Cornbread. Thank you for calling. I asked specifically for you to come on because I couldn't wait to hear from somebody named Cornbread. Secondly, let's give a shout out to the backbone of our country, the backbone of this state, our farmers. We can't do enough to make sure that they're successful in their livelihood doing that. Now, not quite sure where Cornbread was going with that. What we're talking about specific is a bus within the state capitol and replacing that bus once again with a more deserving Tennessean. We don't control the signage that a municipality or a county government body puts up. The relationship between Martin Luther King, who actually, we spoke about this off camera, could actually have a bus to replace Nathan Bedford Forrest because he was murdered in Tennessee, and he did a great deal of work in Tennessee, and one of the prides of my district is Knoxville College, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King spoke there once, giving a commencement speech. So there's a footprint of the service and work left behind by Dr. Martin Luther King, who once again was murdered in Memphis. But we're talking about a bust and the controversy that it's caused. We're not talking about erasing anybody's history. And to Cornbread asked a very poignant question. And I thought it was interesting that he looked at kind of what the issue is. He said he was a farmer and that you don't mistreat your livestock and you give them 3 meals a day. Well, to Cornbread, understand this. I am a man. My ancestors were men and women. There was a man and a woman that survived being kidnapped from the shores of their land. There was a man and a woman that survived that hideous boat ride. There was a man and a woman that survived being treated less than human and survived, a man and a woman did, through a period where they didn't have civil rights. So I could be in this chair today. They are not livestock. My ancestors are human beings, children of this earth, children, I believe, my belief of a living God. And my ancestors are Tennesseans, and they deserve the respect of Tennesseans that are not property. And the atrocities that came from slavery cannot be equated to what the duties and even the honor that farmers have that feed us across this country. So I don't think those two are even in relation.
All right, thank you. That was very good. Let's go to Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hi.
Go right ahead.
How you doing tonight?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the slavery issue and with the South, it's not our fault. Us that live today can't be blamed for the slavery issues. We can't be blamed for the black and white issues that go on in America today. I mean, I'm a white guy. I never owned slaves, so but I still feel sometimes that you know, people, you know, that have dark skin look at me like somehow I'm related to that nonsense, and it's disappointing to me. I think we need to get back on board, and I'm a believer in removing the Nathan Bedford Forrest bust. I think, you know what, that's fine. Let's put it where he was born, or let's put it where he lived. It was interesting that your colleague was like, there's so many people that come into the State House that see it that might be, you know, they might feel bad about it. They might be, you know, injured by it. And I'm thinking, well, if you put it in a state park, then then there's more people that are going to be injured by it. More people are going to see it. Being where it's at is pretty secluded. But in any event, the scars remain, and the scars of the Civil War remain. I would suggest that we replace it with some remnant of the Civil War, whether it be a good black leader or a good white leader. The Civil War needs to be remembered lest we repeat it. We can't just toss it aside like it never happened.
Okay.
But I think blacks and whites needs to get on board like it's not our fault. Blacks and whites that live today, it's not our fault. It's just not.
Right.
And I'll leave you with that.
Joe, thank you for calling in. This issue opens up the door for a big conversation. And the last two calls have kind of broadened this out. But that's interesting, and I don't know. Do you want to comment?
Well, that's the only. If there's a positive thing about Nathan Bedford Forrest, it keeps on the forefront discussions that we refuse to have. But Joe made two good points I want to tie into. He said that there are still scars, but then his first statement was it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility. If there are scars, we are left today, Joe, with the responsibility of making sure change takes place. We are left with the responsibility, and let's answer this call together to heal those scars. Like you said, sir, black and white, let's address what caused these scars. Let's look at how deep these wounds go. No, someone white today is not responsible for slavery. But as an ancestor of slaves, and ancestor of slave owners, we owe it to the future of our children to work in concert together to make sure we address this hideous past and usher in a new future.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and continue to take calls. Reverend Fuzz, others, hold on the line. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.